One of the most iconic figures to grace this game has a chance at his second tournament title in 4 days. Phil Ivey looks to score a first place prize of more than $800,000. This is Super High Roller Series Europe. It's the final table of event number 4, a $50,000 buy-in No Limit Texas Holdem tournament. Come join us, everyone. Thanks for being here. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks. Brent, nothing like seeing a leaderboard that features the name Phil Ivey.
I'm shook. All the feels, Jeff. And by the way, trying to capture his second title. He's the winner of event number 1. Ivey is back, bigger than ever.
Won the 25K short deck to kick this series off. That leaderboard presented by GG. This look at the payouts presented by Luxon Pay. 7 players remain out of 52 entries in this one. Our final 7 guaranteed $130,000. A 26K pay jump from 7th to 6th. And up top, $832K. We're excited for this one. Stacked field. Look at Timon 3 and Seth Davies, who was at our final table just 2 days ago. The man himself.
Oh my.
One Phil Ivey with a relatively decent holding to kick things off on the button with Ace King.
It's just not fair. Oh boy, local legend. Badir now, Ace Queen suited. Our chip leader coming in, Jeff. This is trouble.
Ivey starting the hand a little less than 40 bigs. Badir comes in with about 2.2 million. Those brown chips were 25K. Blue chips worth 5K. Badir makes it 180,000. Jake Schindler out of the way. Action back on Ivey.
Fireworks right away. Hand 1.
All of it. Badir makes the call, and here we go right off the bat. Phil Ivey all in and at risk with Ace King against Salahaddin Badir's Ace Queen of Clubs. More than 1.8 million in this pot. If Ivey wins this, he's our chip leader. Flop coins, Ace King 8, 1 club. Backdoor straight and flush draws for Badir. But so far, so good for Phil Ivey. Turn card is the 4 of clubs.
Why wouldn't it be, Jeff?
Never
Let's add a little sweat.
Easy. 8 outs for Badir. You see them on the top of your screen, looking for a club to eliminate Phil Ivey. And it's the 10 of diamonds on the river. Phil Ivey, our chip leader at event number 4 of Super High Roller Series Europe. It's up to about 1.8 million.
A tough start for Badir. That's just a stone cold cooler right off the bat. Thought he had Phil Ivey right where he wanted him. The crowd goes wild. You can hear it, can't you, Jeff, in the background?
Feel the buzz, the electricity.
Ivey.
There is this certain aura that surrounds Phil Ivey. The Poker Hall of Famer, the 10-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner.
A bit of a resurgence from Phil Ivey as well over the last, I would say, year and a half or so. You can tell, physically fit. He's got that mental game right where he needs it. Been working very, very hard on every aspect of No Limit Holdem. I think we're going to see a lot of Phil Ivey the remainder of 2021. Just an absolute force across the board. Let's hope as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
We've got that World Series of Poker coming around the corner.
bracelet chasing?
Yeah, maybe coming after Helmuth a little bit. We know how good he is at every single game.
That's one way to kick things off here at our
My
final
goodness
table.
gracious. Let's hope that sets the tone for this entire show.
Simon 3 looks down at the ace-9 of spades.
A remarkable showing thus far for Simon 3.
Really has been.
3 out of 4 days, or 3 out of 4 events, I should say, Jeff. He has been on our stream.
Finished 7th in the 25K No Limit just 2 days ago for a little bit more than $100,000. Badir on the button with King Jack. Selahattin Badir out of Turkey finished 2nd place in the aforementioned event number 2. A little bit more than 360K. It's Albert Daher out of Lebanon. He'll get in the mix with the 3-4 of spades in the big. King 4 deuce.
Yeah, possible carnage here. Backdoor flush draw for Daher, obviously with that middle pair as well. Nobody home for Simon 3. However, he opened this pot. Could we try and represent some sort of king? That's exactly what he's going to do. Badir.
65,000.
Yeah, Badir trying to get back on the saddle. Brutal start for him. Hand number 1, and here we go, hand number 2, back in business, top pair. No surprise here from Daher. He's got a little piece. Mentioned that backdoor equity in his mindset as well.
Another king on the turn. Trips for Badir, who locks this one up.
Simon here, no choice but to just wave the white flag. We got to give up. Face resistance from 2 opponents. Clearly one of them has a king, you would suspect. Nice sizing here from Badir. 2 hearts on board. We need to deny equity from what could be a flush draw from Albert. Clearly it's not, and we know Simon 3 just cannot continue in this hand.
Lays it down. Badir entering the day as the chip leader. Picks up a nice pot there.
It really is. I mean, you talk about the psyche. What happens at this table, Jeff? You know, what happens in every single sort of poker environment. You lose a big pot. The momentum, the confidence seems to maybe dwindle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up the next pot, and you start to feel a little bit better. I'm the chip leader coming in. I'm all right.
Badir with almost $1.2 million in career tournament earnings places him 5th on Turkey's all-time money list. He'll move into 2nd with a 5th place finish or better today. He reached out to us, which we appreciate. Filled us in, told us a little about himself. Says he has a hard time traveling to certain poker tournaments, can't easily get a visa. His first international tournament was back in 2019. He went to Rosvadov and then to Barcelona, and his biggest dream is to play a tournament in Las Vegas. We certainly hope that he gets here someday. Tang, the short stack, entering the day. was the chip leader entering yesterday's final table. Busted in 6th. He's all in and at risk here with the ace-7.
Yeah, great spot, though. Nice recognition. Ace-7 just good enough. Got to put it in, and happens to have his opponent, Badir, who's been very active early, in rough shape.
Shove for about 10 bigs. Queen Jack 5. So far, so good for Tang. You see the equities bottom left corner of your screen. 41% chance that they chop this pot. Tang just looking to dodge a 4. Oh, and it's the 4 on the turn.
Not a 6.
Yikes. River card, Tang needs a 7. To stay alive. Doesn't hit it on the river. We said good game to Danny Tang. Been a frustrating last 2 days for him. He's out in 7th for 130K.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. Yesterday you mentioned came in as the chip leader, but didn't he also bow out in 7th place? Was he the first one eliminated?
He was the first one eliminated.
6-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That is frustrating. But, hey, listen, you got to keep coming back. He's clearly playing great to get here. Back-to-back final tables. A very difficult series, and here we go.
And our final 6 guaranteed $156,000 as we look at the payouts presented by Luxon Pay. About a 52K pay jump. And by about, I mean exactly a 52K pay jump from 6th to 5th up top, more than $830,000. There's our chip leader. His name is Phil Ivey. Raising it up here and sitting up straight. The posture is solid.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. He's been really focused on the physical health, the mental health. I don't hang out with him, but my friends that do hang out with him tell me that Ivey is just on a mission, sort of, Jeff. You know, it's not really a comeback tour because he never really went anywhere. We know he's been killing it overseas in cash games and whatnot.
Face a 3-bet here by Badir, who's played every one of our first 4 hands.
He certainly has in the second time that he's 3-bet Ivey. The first time had a premium with ace-queen suited, got cooled off by Ivey's ace-king. And I think Ivey now getting a fine price. Let's just peel. Let's see 3. All right, buddy, you want to go? I mean, I'm Phil Ivey.
Ace-Jack 5 with 2 diamonds. Ivey flops top pair. Badir with the flush draw.
And once again, this battle will continue. We shall fight and see another street. Up to Badir as the 3-better. I have no problem continuing ramping up the aggression with the nut flush draw.
The down bet, 85,000.
Not much of a choice for Ivey, but to just remain curious, continue with top pair. No need to put in a raise.
8 clubs on the turn. 470K in the pot, as you see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen.
These are just these sort of delicate situations where you're check calling, trying to bluff catch.
Goes check, check. Aces and 4s for Ivey.
Ivey obviously knows right now he's got the winner. The question is, what can we get called by and for how much? The line that Badir has taken suggests that he could have maybe 2 kings, right? 2 queens if he actually does have a hand. For the times we are up against an unlucky ace-queen again, or maybe ace-10 suited, you want to capitalize and get max value from those hands as well. Obviously, we know that Badir really can't call here with just king high.
Ivey leads for 300,000. Quick fold by Badir. Another pot headed in the direction of Phil Ivey. Perfect start for him at this final table.
That shirt says it all, really. Active. Yeah. Ivy, early on, moving, chip leader.
With a 5th place finish or better today, he will pass Jason Kuhn for the 10th spot on the all-time money list. If he wins, he'll pass Fedor Holtz for 9th.
Fedor Holtz?
Yeah.
Well, he retired.
Couple times, I think.
Yeah.
Still playing, though.
Well, but as a retired.
Right,
you
right.
know,
He's retired.
In his 20s kind of guy, retired. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just hoping to retire by the time I'm 70.
I believe in you. I think you can get there.
Yeah.
15K, 25K, 25K big blind ante. Some on 3 with the King Jack of Hearts. And out of the small blind. Makes it 80K. Seth Davies. 6 deuce of hearts.
Seth Davies, very good friends with Jason Kuhn. They talk a lot of poker. A tremendous player, Jeff. We talked about Seth just sort of flies under the radar, but he's putting up massive results. It just seems like he's on the cusp of perhaps a little greatness in his career.
Had a real shot at event number 2, where he finished in 3rd for 243K. Got it in with kings. Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
King, queen, 10. Top pair in the royal flush draw. Also drawing to a straight flush is Saman 3. Davies with the worst flush draw. Could be trouble for the American.
That really is. I mean, brutal spot. You have to imagine your flush draw is good. Davies, you can see the percentage. 1% to win this hand would have to be some sort of running 6-2 combination.
Some on 3 leads for 55K. Davies makes the call. Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. The 3 of hearts on the turn. A flush for both. Saman 3 with 480K behind.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen here. Money just inevitably has to go in. Davies feels like he's got a monster. And you really just need to bet, I think, here too, Jeff, with a 6 high flush. We could be up against King X with the King of Hearts. You wouldn't want that hand to really peel for cheap.
And might want to set it up so you get a perfect river shove for
Right.
all of Saman 3's chips. We know the effort to acquire those chips is futile. Davies thinks he has it. Can't blame him. Fires 100K.
Yeah, really the only way he could potentially not lose any more money is if Saman just calls and one more heart hits that river. That 6 high flush really shrivels up. That's just going in.
Going to check raise, yeah.
I think maybe a little bit. I mean, again, he's got to put the money in, but you're slightly annoyed thinking, oh, gosh, this is a strong check raise. We know it's a value hand. Saman only 200,000 chips behind. Boy, Davies really
there it goes.
gave that some consideration, but yeah.
That is a pretty sick one for Seth Davies. Just does not run well in big final table spots.
Yeah, well, it's obviously a tough pill to swallow when you get cooled off like this early on at a final table, but we still have some life. We can get back into this thing. You talk about the play leading up to these final tables. Clearly, Seth Davies, elite. He's done it again, making his second final table here at the series.
Saman 3 moves up to 4th, more than 1.2 million in chips. You might ask, why do you guys keep calling him Saman 3? It's because that's what he wants.
Well, we were told to, and that's what he wants. And we're not sure if the story is accurate, but legend has it. Saman 3 from Iran plays in some games, and for whatever reason, he loves threes. Every time he would hit trips with a 3 in his hand, so he's added that number to his name.
Badir opens with the ace-queen of spades. Saman peels the gorgeous 10-9 suited. And folds. Brandon, your poker career, have you ever folded 10-9 suited on the button?
No, I don't have it.
Have you ever folded 10-9 suited?
I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. It's sort of feel like it's one of those things, Jeff. You just won a massive pot. You doubled up.
Yeah.
You need to settle down a little bit. You're excited. Then you look down, the suited connector facing a raise. You're sort of hesitant to put more money in the middle because you don't want to lose those chips that you just won. I understand that mindset.
Perhaps it being one that separates the amateurs from the professionals. There's a professional right there. His name is Jake Schindler. One of the best in the world. Opens here with the Queen Jack. Lining up a 3-bet with the ace-7 of hearts.
180.
180.
There is that 3-bet. Davies also with Queen Jack out of the way. That's an intense ringtone. Kind of respect it. Blind's going up. Let's make it 15K, 30K with a 30K big blind ante. Event number 4, the final table, 50K no limit. It's Super High Roller Series Europe, presented by Luxon Pay and GG Poker. With the gorgeous Merit Royal Hotel and Casino in Cyprus. Jeff Pott alongside Brent Hanks, thank you so much for being with us. We are live and we are free all series long on Poker Go. And what a treat it is for us to be here to showcase some of the best in the world, including that man, Phil Ivey. Opens on the button here with 10s.
We should have charged people for this one. Chance to see
people
Ivy.
Paid.
Yeah. Big mistake.
Deer calling out of the small blind. Schindler with the ace-7 off. And the big blind, about 25 bigs to start the hand.
Schindler sort of considered squeezing in that spot.
Would have been a good one for Jake as it comes ace-9-3.
Yeah.
He's also, I'm sure, swayed by Seth Davies. Pretty short stack at this point.
Yeah, ICM-wise, you know, maybe, obviously, he folds pre-flop with the ace-7. You could consider squeezing a 3-bet to fold, but I think he just understands that maybe Ivy's not opening quite so wide on the button. Badir feeling quite frisky with this king-7 of diamonds, and what a turn card. All of a sudden, we have life.
Ivy checks back. Another jack on the river. Does Badir feel like the door is open here?
I would love to see a bet there. I think he can quite easily represent. I mean, shoot, ace-jack would make a lot of sense. You don't always have to 3-bet that pre-flop.
Yeah. And on ace-9-3 rainbow, when you check call, maybe the opportunity was there.
Right. You would have put Ivy in a pretty bad spot. Look at that little glance. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Don't mess with me, man.
Yeah.
Ivy can say a lot without saying anything. Our final 6 are guaranteed $156,000. 52K pay jump from 6th to 5th.
Went down to the gym last night and saw that guy in the tank top doing bicep curls with his shirt off.
Oh.
Now we wonder who the guy in the tank top is. No surprise Seth putting in the late night gym session.
Guy in a tank top doing the curls with the shirt off.
Flush draw every hand.
That sounds like something you would do.
Really a shirt off curls guy?
You don't do curls, do you? Do you lift weights in that regard?
Mixing
with the
some
tie
curls.
bow?
There's some dumbbell action
Yeah.
there, yeah, for
That's
sure.
about all I've got.
You're more of a morning gym guy versus an evening gym guy.
Well,
Glad you didn't hit him.
more of a slim gym guy than any sort of gym.
Everybody else doesn't.
I'm going to get back to it, though, Jeff. I'm going to get back to the gym.
I haven't heard that from you in the last 3 years.
Yeah, look at this. Schindler. He's up to no good.
Did have a couple backdoor draws. That not being one of them. He does check. And is the door open for Schindler
It
now?
absolutely is. Part of the plan was hoping that the turn card would go check, check. We can represent this sort of texture. A bit of a out of position float. A line designed to take it away on the river. Jake looks like he has a 7. He's played it just like he's had a 7. He would have check called with that sort of hand. Albert is a very, very good player, high level himself. And if he sort of sees through this, he can use that 7, perhaps Jeff in a way to his advantage, thinking, well, if you don't have that, ace high must be good.
This is what Jake Schindler does, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
More than $26 million in career tournament earnings. Currently 15th on the leaderboard of the Poker Go Tour presented by Guaranteed Rate. 2 Poker Go Tour wins and 9 cashes this year. He could move as high as 7th on that leaderboard with a win today. Schindler, the ace-9 off on the button after Ivy opens.
Again, it's a sort of hand he can consider 3-betting off of that stack size. The issue is Ivy really hasn't shown us or given us a reason to believe that he's opening quite wide.
Sure.
We know he's the chip leader. We know he's Phil Ivey, and he's clearly going to do it. But he has just showed you the goods every single time. You don't really have any reason to believe he doesn't have it.
Blue chips worth 5K, brown chips worth 25K apiece. 52 entries in event number 4. Pretty strong for a 50K buy-in, a prize pool of $2.6 million. Expect these strong turnouts throughout the rest of the series. Ivy looks down at a couple 6s and opens here. Around to our short stack, Seth Davies. The 4-3 offsuit. And 12 bigs behind. Can defend plenty off that short stack, but that's not one of the hands.
You can. You don't want to open or call with 4-3 offsuit, Ivy under the gun. Again, the reason we just mentioned that he's clearly not opening any 2, targeting Seth in that spot, given the payout and ICM situation. Ace-4, ace-3? Yeah, maybe we have to peel there. King-4, king-3 suited? Yeah, we're going to peel there, Jeff. 4-3 off, now, right in the muck.
Ivy eliminated Laszlo Boitas on the bubble last night. Then Artur Martirosyan bested in 8th for the min cash of $104,000. Badir opens with jacks. Saman 3 with ace-king on the button, and these two primed for a collision. The 3-bet to 250,000, sizable one.
And we have seen some refrigerator hands here early. Another cooler situation. If Badir recognizes this as just utter strength from Saman 3, there is a world in which we may elect to navigate by simply calling pre-flop, take a look at some texture before getting any more chips into the middle. Saman just looks strong to me.
Yeah.
Sort of kick back now. He's got the hands down in the lap. Yeah, I'm a really big fan of this by Badir. Let's just call. Let's take a look. Keep it clean, and then perhaps we consider getting the money in.
Pretty clean for jacks as it comes 9-8-3 rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy's got queens, kings, aces, sometimes you just got to pay and lose the money.
Down bet here, 130,000 is the bet.
I love the sizing.
Yeah.
If you're going to continue, you still keep them guessing, right? I mean, wouldn't you play aces this exact same way? Big pre-flop re-raise, size-wise. Now we down bet, seemingly trying to trap and induce our opponent. Badir says, no. Let's see if you got it. Let's play for it all.
Making it 525,000.
Very aggressive check raise. Badir just recognizes the spot. Saman 3, maybe kicking himself a little bit, thinking, oh, I could have maybe checked and taken a look at a turn after whiffing the flop. But I like it, Jeff. I actually like the bet. I think a lot of guys are more inclined to just call the 130, take a look at a little bit more texture before making a big decision.
Time bank used by Saman 3, granting him an additional 30 seconds to act. Lays it down.
Tens.
Jack 10 suited.
Tens.
Okay.
Button's here, right?
I'm bet 130. I'm put 150. 20 back, please.
No, there was a blue chip up
It was a blue. No, you put 130.
there. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
right.
Seth
'cause
is
you didn't
right.
announce the bet, you just put it out.
Yeah, you didn't
That's
even
also
announce
right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just put 130. It didn't say anything. Yeah, it was correct. It was correct.
And it was 130K anyway that he laid out. Jack 9 of hearts now for Saman 3s, down to about 30 bigs. Lays it down. Kadir gets the walk with the 8 deuce. A little bit of momentum after losing a big pot to kick things off.
Ivy found one hand he'd give him a walk with.
Yeah.
7 deuce offsuit. You know, yesterday, Jeff, we had a doppelganger in the cash game. I think it was Sergio, was it Fernandez?
Fernandez, yeah.
Looked like Mark Newhouse.
Right.
It just hit me that Badir, the local legend, when the camera swings around to him momentarily, tell me that Badir doesn't sort of look like Lee Watkinson
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah,
day.
for sure. Absolute doppelganger for Watkinson. Ace King again for Ivy on the button. It's had the button 3 times. Ace King, 10s, and Ace King.
Yeah, he continues to have premiums in an unbelievable spot on the button. Badir fights back again, just calls from the small blind with another suited king.
Schindler happy to jump in there with the 8-7 of spades. It's Jack 10-8. A little
Wow.
bit for everybody here. Schindler's pair best at the moment.
If somehow this checks through, and I think it will,
does.
yeah, it's just rough texture and a queen peels.
Instead, it's the 10 of diamonds.
Door seemingly open for one of these guys from the blinds. This texture favors Badir.
Schindler in an awkward spot.
Yeah, it is. Bottom pair with that bad end to a gut shot.
Ivy still in act behind him.
I really like the bet. And Ivy now not in a great spot. It's like, okay, well. I mean, my guy could be full already. Would he call me with Jack 10, maybe?
Senses something.
Right.
Makes the call with ace king. Rivers the 4 of hearts. Flush draw does come in. $420,000 in the pot.
Maybe Badir a little concerned about pulling the trigger one more time. He's going to do it, though. He's going to try and tell a story. Really trying to represent some sort of 10, perhaps even as good as a full house. Ivy having ace-king exactly. It's hard to give Badir too many king X's, right? Like king-queen, king-9 suited that we can see. So what would those other hands be that he could potentially also be bluffing with? And there it is. I think it's just having a king. It's hard to make that call. Nice play by Badir. Yeah.
And Badir gets one through. Badir regains the chip lead that he entered the day with. If we look at our leaderboard presented by GG Poker. Badir with almost 2.3, Ivy a little more than 2.1. Albert Zaher, Saman 3, Jake Schindler, Seth Davies. Rounding out our final 6. Event number 4, Super High Roller Series Europe. $50,000 buy-in. Final 6 guarantee, $156,000. 52K difference between 6th and 5th. And up top, $832,000.
$65.
Badir opens here with at least the king of clubs. Gets through.
Badir. He's been very active.
That's true.
I don't know what the VPIP numbers would say, but they're off the charts. He's played so many hands. Very swingy, came in as the chip leader, Jeff. You mentioned that. Lost a huge, huge all-in hand, one of the day. And he has fought all the way back, of course, to now reclaim that chip lead.
In the high-stakes tournament scene live here in Cyprus and also plays online.
Should be.
Assuming, right?
Badir also runner-up. Jeff, you said it earlier, of event number 2.
C'est un break dans 18 minutes ou non?
The 25K. Won more than $364,000 for that score.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Really,
loves
really
poker as a real
18 minutes,
passion for the game.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please, thanks.
After this hand, huh?
Huh?
Phil Ivey speaks.
18 minutes. After this level, yeah. Not this.
Come back tomorrow.
So you can go.
Yeah.
Fives for Saman 3.
I will go.
Ace Jack 4, aces for Ivy. Backdoor flush draw.
Huh.
Not going anywhere quite yet.
Yeah.
With the fives.
This is an optimistic float from the fives.
Aces and eights for Ivy.
And just in case Ivy was concerned, he could be up against ace 9, ace 10. He makes an 8 regardless. Yeah, I don't think Simon 3 can ever call one more street with 2 5s here. Ivy's just showing a significant amount of strength. Even if you don't believe him, you just have to give him the pot.
Uses a time bank.
Wow.
For an additional 30 seconds to act. And counting out chips.
Hold on a minute.
Raise.
Oh,
The
boy.
check raise. With just 2 5s. To just 350K with 425K behind.
$4.25 now.
Showing Ivy as remaining stack. Now it's Ivy's turn to use a time bank.
Yeah, Ivy just considering, yeah, let's just call and maybe let him put it in on the river. Unless we think we're up against a combo draw that could include spades where we just want to put it in right now. We certainly know he's not going to fold aces up.
Fires off another time bank.
The line looks quite strong. Maybe Ivy a little worried about being up against aces and jacks or a set. I just think we have way too many hands that we beat. He's obviously ruled out the ace X of spades, having the ace of spades in his hand. Could it ever be just an 8 with a flush draw? Certainly could always be ace 4 taking in line like this.
Wow.
And what in the world just happened? What just happened? Oh, dear. Is there a chance Ivy didn't realize he had aces up? What?
That's a shocking fold there.
I am speechless. I don't know what just happened here. What? The amateur Saman 3 just gets through a ridiculous bluff.
Pulling one
Phil
off.
Ivey folding aces up. My goodness. Ivy hasn't stopped staring.
Opens the next hand with fives. Albert and Seth come along. King 4-3, all spades. A decent one if you're Seth Davies.
Yeah, what a feeling this is right now. You're the short stack, flop the nuts 3 ways in a spot. A little unlucky for Davies as neither opponent has a spade in their hand, but Ivy says, I'm going to take one off. Let me just put a little money out there, 125. He's essentially now committed to Davies' stack.
Who just has 265,000 behind.
Yeah, and Ivy's hand, if he has any chance to win the pot, sort of had to bet right there. Yeah, nice. Despite getting a ridiculous price,
Right.
just knows, okay, well, you got it, buddy.
Seth Davies chips up a bit.
Yeah.
How about a look at the leaderboard for the Poker Go Tour presented by Guaranteed Rate? Liam Shurovich on top, 9 Poker Go Tour wins. He's in first. Sean Perry, Sam Soverell, Sean Winter, and Kerry Katz round out our top 5. Katz the only other one besides Ali who is here in Cyprus out of those top 5. Jake Schindler is in 15th. Seth Davies is in 23rd. Both will make moves after today is done.
God, I'm still rattled by
shocked
that
about
Ivy
that
hand.
one,
Yeah, I don't. I just don't know. I mean, at this point, I think Ivy realizes he got.
Right.
By
With the
Badir's
reactions,
reaction after,
yeah.
then he just leaves the table, probably went to tell his friends,
Yeah.
you know, or
Had the huge sigh of relief
Yeah.
and moved back after.
yeah, there is a world in which Ivy also didn't recognize he had aces up. I mean, maybe he thought in his mind he had
I guess.
ace
Yeah.
X. Then again, I don't think he would have been bet unless he was just targeting a jack. And then if he thought he was up against the jack, what just happened? Wait a minute, it must be fours. Yeah, you're folding really because you think your opponent has 2 hands, right? Either ace jack or pocket fours.
Yeah. Because to your point, you would have heard from Saman 3 earlier with jacks or with aces, most likely.
Right.
You have an ace in your hand.
Yeah, I think that one will be talked about for
So
quite some time. Meanwhile, back to work here, Ivy with a very big flop for his hand, considering what he's up against.
And now turns a diamond draw as well. Ivy leads, Ivy wins. You've spoken a lot about Ivy's refreshed mindset. What's going to need to come into play here after that hand against him on 3?
Yeah, I wonder if he has
Especially when he
anyone
finds
feeding
out,
him
yeah.
information. Which means, Jeff, if he reviews the tape and watches the stream, he'll know who we are.
He probably just has somebody watching to fill him in on the hands.
Yeah, but they
Not the commentary.
maybe he'll go back and watch, Jeff.
I doubt it.
Ivy just knows me as the tall, annoying guy at the Poker Go studio who gets him in games.
Hey, that works. That works for Ivy.
The guy that begs to caddy for him and Nick Schulman on the golf course, and
this
he
is weird.
refuses to let me anywhere near the facility.
Smart on his part. Davies opens here. Schindler with 6s.
Yeah. There we go.
Maybe count.
Seth starting the hand with 20 bigs. Schindler a touch more.
Kind of like Schindler's timing. When I say timing here, I mean just how quickly he knew to go all in. It looks strong, right?
Yeah.
Most players 6s. Is this an automatic all in? Should I just call? A little hesitation, but he did it so fast. I think Davies realized that. It looks strong. You don't really want to call it off if you think that you could be up against ace-queen, ace-king. You're flipping a high percentage of the time. Is this a moment where you want to do that? Would Schindler shove ace-10, ace-9, ace-8 suited? Unlikely, but maybe. Kind of a gross spot. Would he do it with king-queen suited? Maybe. Here
Davies
we
thinks
go.
ace-jack just too good here. Does make the call. He's the one all in and at risk with the ace-jack of spades against Jake Schindler's pocket 6s. More than 1.2 million in this pot. Ace, king, 8. Schindler now needs to find a 6. Doesn't do it on the turn. He finds it on the river. Davies is out. And he
Oh
does
my
find it
God.
on the river.
Dear Lord.
You cover, right?
7-5.
A sickening run out on what was a coin flip.
I mean, just gross. Davies gets cooled off early, gets back into it, had a chance to have 1.3 million if he wins that flip, and then the 6 on the river.
Out in 6
Good
for
game,
$156,000. Davies' second cash of Super High Roller Series Europe. Feels like he's oh so close to those wins.
Well, he's knocking on the door of massive scores so many times. He's made these final tables, and it just seems to get unlucky. And listen, Jeff, it's part of the game. It's variance. It happens to so many great players. It's a matter of time. You keep showing up, putting in the work. Those top 3 podium finishes are going to come, and all the money's going to be there.
That's his 7th Poker Go Tour cash. That look at the payouts presented by Luxon Pay. Final 5 guaranteed $208,000.
Man, we have seen some crazy stuff already at this final table.
Davies moves from 23rd to 18th on the Poker Go Tour leaderboard. Poker Go Tour presented by Guaranteed Rate. And now Schindler. Some real momentum here. Raising with ace-king.
Albert maybe considering playing a little defense with 8-3 suited. Is there a chance in which they would never really, I don't think, 3-bet that sort of hand unnecessarily.
Queen, queen, 5, 1 spade. 2 hearts. Backdoor flush draws for both.
I like the c-bet from Schindler on this sort of texture. We have the ace of hearts where we can get creative on any heart street. Able to represent queens. Get a ton of folds as well. We don't expect too many fights. You're either up against a queen or your opponent can find some bluffs. Maybe Albert considering doing just that. There it is.
Wow.
Gonna go bananas post flop with just 8 high and a backdoor flush draw. Understands that Jake is probably betting this sort of flop a high percentage of the time without a queen in his hand, and Jake just sort of sees right through it. All right, buddy, let's go. Yeah.
Schindler turns that flush draw. 610K in the pot.
Albert might even check raise 5 in his hand from some of the time, and Schindler's ace-king with that heart plays just fine against that. And now we have a ball game, and Albert is in a very strange predicament. A bet here just doesn't really make a ton of sense. Would he bet with 3 queens on a turned heart? You have to be concerned about a flush.
275.
He's going to tell
He
a
is
story.
going to fire 275K, leaving him 600K behind.
Schindler's studying everything. The body language, the line, the size of these bets, soaking it all in. Albert kind of like smushed up in his chair with the hand on his neck. I don't know if he looks like that every single time he plays a pot with or without a monster. You're not going to get a read on this guy, that's for sure. Look at Schindler. He's got that sort of Ivy-esque posture,
Another type
a motionless face. I'm convinced that so many of these great poker players are just dead inside.
Well, DeHare's going to become even more uncomfortable after this. Schindler flicks in a call, and all of a sudden, there's 1.2 million in the middle, and Schindler has ace high. DeHare has 8 high.
This is a fantastic card for Schindler, believe it or not. If DeHare bets, he's repping a queen and a queen only. I don't think Schindler's going to give him credit for that.
Does DeHare go for it?
You cover me, right?
Not going to get much.
Yeah, you're never value betting a flush now if you're a DeHare. So we can rule that out if the money goes in. You have to be concerned that Jake has a queen, which is what it looks like. This is not going to work if he shoves.
Time extension used, granting him an additional 30 seconds to act. Does shut it down. Schindler shows down the winner.
I think that's a good give up by De Gea. I mean, the turn bet was very optimistic by De Gea. Schindler sees through it.
And here comes Jake Schindler climbing up the leaderboard. That leaderboard presented by GG Poker. It's Badir, it's Schindler, it's Phil Ivey, Simon 3, and Albert De Gea at our final table. Our final table coverage continues after a quick break. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. You're watching Super High Roller Series Europe. Welcome back to Cyprus. Welcome back to the Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino for final table coverage of event number 4, 50K at No Limit Holdem tournament. What a wild first hour it was. It resulted in the elimination of Danny Tang and Seth Davies as we look at our leaderboard presented by GG Poker. And Brent Selahattin Badir entered the day with the chip lead. It's a chip lead that he still has.
Yeah, he does. But, Jeff, what we've seen from Ivy, the performance thus far, the way he's accumulated chips, but then also making one of the most ridiculous and incorrect folds that I have seen in quite some time to our amateur Simon 3. And by the way, all credit to Simon 3.
Sure.
Whatever it was that allowed him to pull the trigger, clearly in Ivy's head in a way. By now, Ivy must know what happened. At least you would think. Let's see how this thing goes, yeah.
Rides for Ivy and Badir. Jake Schindler has just been steadily accumulating.
Yeah, Schindler quietly accumulating. That last hand before break, major misstep by De Gea. He's put himself in a very difficult situation with his stack size.
$20K, $40K with a $40K big blind ante, and Schindler is going to attack with Simon 3 in the big.
Yeah,
Simon 3 has a good one.
Schindler's going to open very wide against Simon's big blind. He's clearly targeting the stack. He's trying to leverage. And beautiful stuff by Simon.
3-bet gets it done. Our final 5 guarantee $208,000. Another 52K pay jump from 5th to 4th. Up top, our biggest first place prize of Super High Roller Series Europe, $832,000. Those blue chips worth 5K, brown chips worth 25K a piece. Looks like some white chips in play. Those are worth 100K. Simon 3 just folds the queen 3 in the small one. Ivy gets the walk. Six of clubs for Schindler. Has about 50 bigs. Not the most talkative final table, and yet a very exciting one. Because of the play that we've seen so far, some of the hands that we've seen so far. Albert De Gea out of Lebanon has 10 career tournament titles, 5 of them coming right here at Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino. He and Badir with a home court advantage of sorts here. Ivy folds Jack 8 on the button.
that sort of goes to show Ivy's not opening just, you know, any two or even wide on the button. He's got a pretty narrow range, at least at this juncture.
He'll open with the ace-6 off and the cutoff. Goes 2.5x, makes it 100,000. Gets through. Phil Ivey, the 10-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. Poker Hall of Famer. After today's score, he'll have more than $32 million in career live tournament earnings. He will move into at least 10th on the all-time money list, passing Jason Kuhn. Needs to win this tourney to move into 9th and pass Fedor.
How much you put it on?
Around 500.
Simon just folds the 9-8 off in the big. Selahattin Badir out of Turkey will move into 2nd all-time on the Turkish all-time money list. After today's score is official, you know who he trails?
Turkey's all-time money list? Oh, I do. Orp the Turk.
Yep, you got
Orpin.
it, Orpin. We haven't seen Orpin in a while.
No. We have not. Hopefully we see him again soon. And Badir raising again. Picked up his largest career score just a couple days ago with a 2nd place finish in event number 2 for $364,000 and change. And Jeff, today he has a chance to blow that score away.
What you would do by another heads-up finish. 2nd place, $546K. First, $832,000. Simon 3 with the ace-6 of diamonds in the small blind off 30 bigs. Ivy passes with the 3 deuce of hearts. It was Queen 10-8 with 2 diamonds. Ace-high flush draw for Simon 3. Pair of 10s, couple backdoor draws for Badir. Goes check, check, jack of diamonds on the turn. Ace-high flush comes in for Simon 3. Badir not dead. See, he could find the river 9 of diamonds.
Yeah, depending on how much Simon 3 bets, and 95, I love this. I don't think Badir's really going to fold with the 10 of diamonds in his hand. Considering it's a 1-liner to a straight, obviously a 9 would complete that. If we think our 10 of diamonds could possibly be good, maybe we just have to put in a call or take another avenue. Are we going to kick it up? Oh, boy.
Simon 3 is going to love this. He sees a raise to 225K. Not quite sure what the raise is designed to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, unless we're trying to fold out a 9, which is asking a lot. You know, maybe 2 pairs gonna fold. Obviously, the ace-high flush isn't going anywhere.
And Simon 3 just going to go ahead and rip it in now.
Badir doesn't really have a decision here. This is just a fold all day long, unless our graphics are wrong for whatever reason, and it's King 10 of diamonds. But this is this hand is over.
Didn't expect all this after that turn card popped up.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Sort of bizarre. Yeah, there we go.
You moved all in?
Yes, he did.
What I have? You ask, if you ask, I can. Ah, okay. Good game. I have King 10 with 10 of diamonds now. I don't know.
He has third pair. Right?
And very big draw.
19.
Well, Simon 3 opens button, and these two will tango once more.
Okay.
Simon 3 flops a 6. Checks it back. Turn brings an 8. Badir bets the minimum. Aces and 6s now for Simon 3. Badir just waves the white flag.
I guess just bought a street for the minimum to try and hit a king or a queen, but yeah, I don't really know.
Simon 3, businessman out of Iran. We've seen him plenty in our time at Cyprus. At Super High Roller Series Europe, presented by Luxon Pay and GG Poker. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks. We're at our studios in Las Vegas. Thank you all so much for being here. Live and free on Poker Go throughout the entire series. Live and free on our friend's YouTube channel at Merit Poker.
Albert just trying to get something going. Finds a suited king. A little bit of thievery going on. Perhaps it looks strong when you're on the short stack, raising to the minimum.
Queen 9-3, both miss.
Perfection.
Yeah,
Jeff, you
works
just
perfectly.
have to hope your opponent hasn't hit a pair. Get that little c-bet through and able to now accumulate. The days are gone. Well, maybe not gone, but the game has certainly evolved as such where you get down to 10, 12 big blinds, you're not just automatically moving all in pre-flop with that sort of hand. You can get away with little bluffs, little jabs here and there without putting your tournament life at risk. That was a very good example of how you can get it done.
Ivy opens with Queen 10. Badir on the button with the Ace-8 of spades. Similar stack size for both. Badir calls. Ace-10 for Deher. With about 13 bigs behind.
This is sort of the difficulty. And I'm going to look at Badir's hand, the Ace-8 of spades. I think this is a spot that's easier to play, believe it or not, if you just 3-bet pre. You would then force out a hand like Ace-10 or maybe even Ace-Jack. Force them to fold.
And that Ace-10 now is the opportunity here.
Exactly. And now you're in a weird spot with Ace-8 suited.
Count, please.
Questioning, okay, could I have the best hand? And you get it in as a pretty big underdog.
Yeah, that's for a count.
How much is it? Huh? 580.
So almost 15 bigs.
So close, Albert.
Time bank used for an additional 30 seconds to act.
Again, notice the difference in how much more comfortable Albert is right now. And this time his posture's a little better. He's actually got the glasses off on his head.
We call him No Fear Badir for a reason. Does make the call with the Ace-8 of spades. Deher in good shape to find the double. Big spot here.
Suck out.
Oh,
Ace 6-3
my
with 2
goodness.
spades.
Good game, bro.
They're gonna have to sweat this one out.
What's that mean?
It's mean 8 or spades will come in.
Oh, okay.
A cool look at this turn card, which is the
Oh, yeah.
deuce of diamonds. D'Hara's dodged so far. Needs to dodge the 8 or the spade on the river to stay alive.
Yeah.
And the river is the 8 of
you know?
clubs. That does it
for
for Albert D'Hara out
Good
in
player.
5th for $208,000.
Hey, listen, you get your money in good. It's the best you could ask
Yeah.
for.
GG, bro.
D'Hara
Don't
played
worry
on
too
Poker
much.
After Dark. He fires various high rollers from time to time. Nice little fight, good showing, and hey, little chunk of change.
Yeah, his first live cash since November 2019 is a pretty good one. More than 200K as we look at our payouts presented by Luxon Pay. Our final 4 guaranteed $260,000. A 104K pay jump from 4th to 3rd. Salahaddin Badir. Second cash of the
okay.
series. Has the chip
I
lead
cannot
here.
go out.
You can't
Mr.
leave it?
Ivan, you need to help me for Vegas. I wanna go
You're not
somewhere.
allowed?
It's my dream. Never. They didn't give visa.
Why not?
I don't know.
What'd you do?
Nothing. But
That's the same thing I say when they don't let me in the country.
yeah, I wanna come so much Las Vegas. You know, because it's Middle East. You know, they don't wanna Turkish.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, COVID. It's before COVID also.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mentioned this earlier, but Salahaddin Badir's dream is to play a poker tournament in the U.S., just having trouble getting to the States.
You know, we might see some fireworks here. Saman 3 with that gut shot backdoor diamonds. He has shown us time and time again he loves to fight for pots.
Check calls here.
Oh boy.
Ooh. The turn is a 10 of diamonds, a spicy turn card, as Jungleman would say.
Oh yeah, that's a
straight flush
tantalizing
draw.
ticket right there.
For Saman 3 and the trip 10s for Badir. Spot could escalate quickly.
It's also that non-believer sort of card.
Yeah.
If Saman 3 now just doesn't give you credit for having a 10, when another one hits the turn, let's see how he decides to navigate. Certainly more chips being
255.
bet right here. Nice
Sizing up,
sizing.
yeah.
Yeah.
255,000.
You drink caffeine or no?
You don't?
Addicted?
Probably.
I think I want to quit.
You quit?
I'm going to, but I can't live without it. It's like I had to swallow coffee on a break, drinking tea now. Like it's like crazy.
I limit myself to mornings, or I try to.
Saman 3
Oh, no,
check
I-
calls.
Yeah, I mean, I crave it every morning. It's like part of my routine, you know? It's like the
We
only.
was start like this, right? Only bit. Okay, thank you so much.
For card is another 10.
Oh, hi.
All of the 10s for Salahaddin Badir. On 3 checks. How much value will Badir look for here?
Well, he knows he's either up against a stubborn 9 or a draw. For the times you're up against a 9, you might as well get the max value. I would expect something quite hefty.
All in?
How about that?
Just goes
All
for
of
it
it.
all. Badir extends his chip lead.
Is that like a wedding ring?
7.
Is that like a wedding ring? Like a marriage?
Marriage, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you so much.
Look at the leaderboard for the PokerGo Tour. It is presented by Guaranteed Rate. And it does find Ali Amshurovich's name on top. More than $3.3 million in PokerGo Tour earnings this year. With 9 wins. He and Kerry Katz are in Cyprus for the duration of Super High Roller Series Europe. Perry, Savarol, Winter, not here, at least not yet.
Only tournament.
Tournament, yeah. Sometimes cash game for funds.
Yeah, but what is the
Here,
game?
But I didn't like cash games.
How big is it?
Texas.
Texas. What limit?
We play maximum sorry. We play maximum 200, 400 here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Might have been distracted by the conversation. Badir seems like
But I didn't. I cannot play.
would certainly be opening
cash
Queen
game.
10 in the cutoff.
I don't know. I cannot be.
And Saman just folds Jack Deuce of
Tournament,
Diamonds
yeah,
in the small blind.
Permanent good,
Yeah. I got it.
permanent feeling good.
Feel good in the tournament.
Yeah, I feel very good in tournament. This is my dream to go to where everyone speak about Vegas. They say it everywhere tournament. You can find every day, every time, every.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah, it's. Now you know about my dream, Mr.
That's cool.
That is awesome.
For Badir, living out his dream. Hope it's enhanced by a trip to Las Vegas for a poker tournament. Saman 3 just tosses King 8 on the button. Seems like he wants to fight at times, sure, but also makes some pretty tight pre-flop decisions. At times, at random times, sometimes just goes ham.
Yeah, just I think random is the right word there. Perhaps not a rhyme or reason, just more of an intuition, sort of a gut player. A feel player, Jeff.
Yep. Trip queens for Ivy here. Badir has a 3. Counterfeited.
Yeah, Badir now bailed out. He may try something ill-advised here, assuming Ivy's going to bet queens full.
Which he is.
Well,
and
now
just
there
the
we
reach
go.
of it.
I had you.
Chappat.
Glad you to make me go through it.
I believe Ivy showed him the 7. quiet last 30 minutes or so for Jake Schindler.
Well, he's a man of very few words. I know that he and Ivy had a conversation a moment ago about being addicted to caffeine. I can certainly join the club there.
Yes, you can.
Big caffeine guy in the mornings,
Well,
Jeff.
I mean, you and me both. It's pretty early here. It's hard to blame you for
Yeah.
that.
But it sounds like as long as you're only limiting your caffeine intake to, say, the AM hours,
Yeah.
you know, a little coffee. For us, some nerd focus here.
Yeah, smarter than energy.
Smarter than energy. No free ads, of course. It sounds like you're not addicted unless you're drinking coffee or energy drinks throughout the course of the
Sure.
day. So I'm going to ask you, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
You're a man of nerd focus and Monster energy drinks.
Mm-hmm. No free ads.
Are you drinking those in the afternoon, sometimes evening?
On
a regular
occasion.
basis?
On a regular basis, no, but on occasion, yes.
Now, what do you mean by occasion? Exactly.
Well, like this week when we have the 2 a.m. to 12 p.m. shift, and I try so hard to stay up until 7 p.m. And so, yes. This
so
would
you're
be one of
drinking
those
energy
occasions.
drinks into the afternoon, perhaps early evening before you
Just
go to bed
early
at 7.
afternoon, early afternoon.
So after we wrap up, you actually go back and have a little bit more of an energy drink.
Yeah, just so I can go to sleep later.
Because you want the crash to hit?
I don't want the crash. I just don't. I don't want to nap, and that ruins me. Then I just get no sleep at night. Know what I mean?
Not really, because you're still going to sleep at night regardless.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if I nap in the early afternoon, I have
Yeah.
a really hard time falling asleep at night.
Oh, I understand.
And so I just want to
understand.
like.
Okay. So you want to make sure you
power
avoid
through.
the afternoon nap in order to make
Yeah.
sure you get your full night's rest, because the nap
Yes.
will alter your full night's rest.
Exactly.
Right. That sounds like an excuse an addicted person would make.
I don't know about that. That's right. Ace queen for Badir.
All in.
I'm not judging, by the way.
Well, I sure hope not. I've seen plenty of caffeine that's been ingested by you.
We all have our vices.
Caffeine's the worst it gets for us. We'll be fine.
Right.
So you stay off the caffeine in the afternoon?
I do. Yeah, I'm not a big. I don't do the coffee or the energy drink in the afternoon.
Maybe a Diet Coke here and there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coke Zero. I think there's studies out there that, coffee's good for you. Good for the metabolism.
Yeah, I've seen that. Energy drinks have a lot of vitamins.
A lot of vitamins.
And the ones we drink have no sugar, so we're totally fine.
Right.
Padir versus Schindler, blind versus blind. 7-4-3-1 spade. Schindler the gut shot, the backdoor flush draw. Padir's king high best for now. Schindler will pounce and win. This is Jake Schindler's 10th Poker Go Tour Cash. Poker Go Tour presented by Guaranteed Rate. Schindler entered the day 15th on the Poker Go Tour leaderboard.
Now, we know Ivy is also on board the leaderboard with his outright win in event number 1. I don't know if the standings have been updated, but I have to imagine he's hovering around the top 50. Clearly today he's going to add more points to his leaderboard status.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a chance.
right outside the top 50.
Yeah, there's a chance. I don't know what his plans are. I mean, maybe I'll call him after the show.
He won't answer.
No. But there's a chance if he does come back to the States and he plays in some of the Poker Masters events, I would expect him to play the Super High Roller Bowl in Las Vegas, the 300K. And again, followed by a somewhat full schedule at the World Series of Poker. Jeff, there's a chance Ivy could be a contender for Player of the Year.
That would be quite remarkable.
He'd have to really get moving, little shake and bake, got to pick up more victories along the way. But just to have him maybe in the top 10, that would be very special.
Just a victory today would move him into the top 15 to 20.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's got a chance, Jeff. Ali Amshurovich has 9 wins over the course of 2021 on the Poker Go Tour. Next best is Sean Perry with 5 wins. Ivy looking for his second here today.
Schindler looking for his third. Worst case scenario for Schindler, if he's eliminated in 4th today, he moves into 11th. He passes Joe McKeon, David Peters, who's here in Cyprus, Stephen Chidwick, who's here in Cyprus, and Sergei Rushak, who tried to get to Cyprus, was denied at the airport.
That's fascinating. I wonder how many other players tried to come over and fire and were denied at the airport. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I don't think we learned why.
Didn't quite comprehend that. It's unfortunate. I always like seeing the Ibex here at our high roller events. A 2nd place finish or better for Jake Schindler today moves him into the top 10 on the Poker Go Tour leaderboard. He would pass Alex Foxon for 10th. Speaking of Twitter, he's at Buffalo Hanks. I'm at Jeff Platt. You can follow us on Poker Go. At Poker Go.
How about right now? Just get on Twitter and maybe follow us right now.
We'll take it. Just do it. Schindler opens ace-5. Badir happy to defend with the 10-9 of spades. Jack 4-4, no spade. Jake will go small here, betting 65K.
How about this?
Badir doesn't go quietly into the night.
No pair, no draw. And Badir's going to float and try and take this away on later streets.
Let's turn a gutter.
In the event that this does go check-check,
which it does,
I would expect Badir to lead rivers. You're not trying to show down 10 high. His plan is to call and now bet this river, at least I would assume.
Executing that plan. Now, will the plan work?
And Schindler's going to be curious, thinking, all right, well, if you had some sort of backdoor draw, you definitely would have called my bet, right? The question is, did that 6 or 7 perhaps help you? You can't rule out a jack either. I don't know if he'd bet this sizing. Maybe he would. Yeah, he's flipping a coin. Some of the time we call, other times we just pass.
Saw the raised eyebrows from Schindler right off the bat. Certainly has his curiosity piqued. Great shot there. Schindler versus Badir. And Schindler find the call with just ace high.
A lot of credit to Badir here. Not a lot of people get Schindler to even think quite like that.
Well done, Salahuddin Badir.
Strong play.
Like you said, had a plan in place. Executed to perfection. Blinds going up, 25K, 50K.
What?
The 50K big blind ante. Badir didn't know how to respond to that question.
With what I can be below you. What you have? Ace high. Bravo. I'm scared. I think so.
You have a good jack.
Ivy, to your point, Brent, continuing relatively tight pre-flop play.
Yeah, that'll change. He's not getting out of line.
Yeah.
He's playing very, very steady.
I love you.
Yeah.
10, 9 of spades.
Badir being honest with Schindler. So got to bluff through.
I don't know if I would tell him that while you're in the middle of a hand with him. However, that's just me. Badir, you do you. Schindler says, gotcha.
Badir just folds ace high once the dap. Yeah, I would try to give Jake Schindler as little information as possible when playing with him.
And Phil Ivey.
Sure.
Yeah, I should have paid.
Sort of a dream, though, right? You know, Badir talks about
Yeah,
how
it's
his
awesome.
actual dream is to go to Las Vegas, play in tournaments, be a part of the scene that's out here. And you're sandwiched between perhaps one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic player of all time, that is Phil Ivey. And then you've got this kid, Jake Schindler.
No, I have a
And that kid has a couple aces. And we know Badir has at least the ace of hearts.
This is where, you know, these casual conversations, you tell the guy you just bluffed him, and then he 3-bets you right away. It's the mental warfare starts to begin. Big sizing, too, from Schindler. 450,000.
4.5x out of position.
Our chip leader could be in a lot of trouble here, Jeff. We don't know what that other card is, but boy, oh boy.
Using a time bank for an additional 30 seconds to act.
It is possible. It's the ace of clubs.
That's true.
One time I passed through. Very big hand.
Oh, wow. Terrific laydown. Schindler does not like to hear that. Schindler up to second.
So close. What you have?
I had it. I had it.
Sorry?
I had it.
Says I had it.
What? Had it?
Yeah.
It?
What is this hand?
Good hand.
Queen?
Best hand.
Really? Wow. $25.50 down.
I know for the poker hardcore fans at home, if you're tuned in, I have to imagine you're rooting for the Ivy Schindler sort of heads-up battle. If you're a fan of Merit Poker, the local scene, clearly you're going for your hero, Badir.
Yeah.
Badir's sort of like the Jake Schindler of the Merit Poker Room, right? Schindler owns the Aria. He's got all these titles there. Badir, he is the king of the castle, if you will, inside this casino.
Yeah, 5 final tables at Merit Poker main events.
Yeah, and Saman 3, let's not count him out. 3 out of 4 events thus far. Saman has joined us at a TV table. He's had one hell of a series. So some nice storylines here as we're four-handed.
Badir second place in event number 2, 25K no limit for about 365K. Saman 3 7th place in that event for about $100,000. Jake Schindler's first cash of the series. Phil Ivey won event number 1, 25K short deck for more than 400K.
And if you missed it earlier, Saman 3, who just opened the ace-10, made one of the most ridiculous bluffs I have seen. I don't know how long, Jeff, but
319.
He did it to Phil Ivey and forced Phil Ivey to fold 2 pair. I'm sure that clip will go poker viral at some point later today. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. And now Saman 3 with a major decision to make with just ace-10.
Started the hand with 25 bigs. Just muck it.
Igor in the YouTube chat, is this live? Yeah, we're live. We're on a slight delay, but we're out there. Thank you guys so much for following us on YouTube on this Merit Poker channel, as well as you at home watching for free on your Poker Go platform.
Raise and take it for our chip leader, Salahuddin Badir out of Turkey. Looking for his first ever career live tournament win. He's got more than 40% of the chips in play four-handed. He's on the right path. $52 entries in this tournament. Creating a prize pool of $2.6 million. We're down to our final 4. Ivy with the 8-7 in the big, he'll defend. And a flop of 7. Couple backdoor draws for Badir.
I would expect Badir to continue every time it comes ace high, considering he did raise it up pre-flop. Able to tell a tale.
A little bigger bet and gets Ivy to fold, bottom pair. Went to half pot route.
Badir has done a great job accumulating and maintaining the chip lead after such a disastrous start. First hand of the day, Badir got all in against Phil Ivey. Badir holding ace-queen of clubs to Ivy's ace-king. Ivy held, took over the chip lead momentarily, but it has been all Badir since, reclaiming the throne here at the table.
Couple jacks for Jake Schindler. Badir defends. He's 10-8. Schindler wins that one. Noy in the YouTube chat, what's that blue bracelet they're wearing? Think of it as their access band.
Yeah, we think it is vaccine or somehow COVID related, right, Jeff?
I just thought it was, hey, I'm a player, I can get through all the security checkpoints.
Got
But it might also
okay.
it might also be vaccine or COVID related. Not quite sure the protocols in place.
Can I have that?
I kind of wanted to hear Ivy's
Yeah,
order.
same.
You know what?
Just a light one.
Well, whatever it is, it's light. Blind versus blind, Badir raising. Schindler comes along with the king queen. Badir sized it up. But more than 4x. The 9 deuce of clubs. A7 4 2 spades. Schindler is the king of spades. Schindler not going anywhere and does turn a queen.
If Schindler didn't fold flop,
375.
I don't believe he's going to
375.
even remotely come close to considering it now after turning a queen.
No fear Badir firing 375K.
Yeah, I just think that Schindler feels like Badir is probably bluffing a good amount. Obviously trying to represent that ace, now perhaps using that queen as leverage. If Badir thinks he's targeting a 4 or a 7 somehow.
5 of spades on the river with almost 1.6 million in this pot.
And the flush gets there. I think Badir should be recognizing that if he were to bet again, nothing really makes sense that he could have unless it's exactly ace-x of spades.
Schindler happy to check back and show down the winner.
Yeah, I think that's a really fine give up by Badir. A bet there, I believe, would have been called a very high percentage of the time.
Schindler drags a sizable pot. Jake Schindler now our chip leader.
Good call, buddy.
Saman 3 wakes up with ace king in the big blind. All of
Yeah,
it.
great spot for some on 3.
Count,
And
please.
Badir gets a little sticky whenever he has ace high and someone has close to 15 big blinds, a little less. Has a tendency to look you up. We saw that on his first final table. He made a big call with ace 9.
Yeah.
And won a 60-40 spot. I think he feels like he's in that sort of situation right now with the ace deuce.
The shove for 18 bigs, excuse me.
Pass.
Does get out of the way.
Mm.
25-50K with a 50K big blind ante. The deer opening here with the 7-4 spades. Schindler 3-betting, pouncing. We're going to see Jake Schindler put some pressure on his opponents with his chip lead. Good spot for him to do it here. An ace in his hand on the button. But you're not going anywhere. Doing a whole bunch of chips. That is just a call. And does flop a flush draw. Well, Schindler flops bottom pair.
Yeah, let's watch what Schindler decides to do here with bottom pair. He is a 3-better. We can represent, obviously, stronger holdings with a continuation bet. Every time we're called, we can safely assume that we're never dead. We can always improve with a 6 or an ace.
Down bet to 175,000.
These are those precarious spots that so many of us seem to encounter at the poker table time and time again. When we do decide to 3-bet with a very marginal ace, we lightly connect, and we decide to proceed post.
Wow, the ace of spades on the river. It makes Badir's flush, and it makes Schindler 2-pair.
It's been that kind of day, really, for Badir. That is a dream
Ooh.
card, and what a beautiful check right here with a flush. Assumes correctly that Schindler likely has improved his hand with that card on the river, Jeff.
Schindler fires almost 700,000.
And Schindler is about to jump out of his chair if Badir puts in a raise with this 7-high flush.
He'll just call, and he'll regain the chip lead.
Wow. Boy, I guess it's such a big bet. A pivotal moment, huge pot. Schindler could show up with a bigger flush at times there. I think I would have liked to see a raise, but regardless, a massive hand for our chip leader, Badir.
Almost half the chips in play, four-handed. Badir up to about 3.6 million. Like you said, a beautiful check on the river.
Turkish tea? Tea?
Turkish tea.
King 9 of clubs for Schindler in the big. He'll defend. Jack of clubs, 4 deuce of spades. Three of clubs on the turn. The flush draw for Schindler, the straight draw for Simon 3.
You can take this.
Yeni bir tane alabilir miyim bardak? Soğudu da bu lütfen.
Simon 3 fires pretty small here. River's an 8. King high for Schindler. Ace high for Simon 3.
Simon may be considering betting here as a bluff in his mind with the ace high, regardless of what he does. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going to move it in. He's got a 6 in his hand. This is a nice play, Jeff. Able to represent a straight. Very good stuff.
Simon 3 up to third now. Ivy in fourth. The deer opens to 6 deuce of diamonds. Schindler down to a little more than 30 bigs. Has a look at the ace queen, just rips it. Badir in first, Schindler in second, Simon 3 in third, Ivy in fourth. Final four guaranteed $260,000. 104K pay jump from fourth to third. Blue chips worth 5K, brown chips 25K a piece, white chips worth 100,000. Ivy, not just the king of hearts, but the king of diamonds as well in the small blind.
As Tony G would call them, he's got the butchers.
That's right. Oh, Badir has a pretty good one in the big.
Yeah, and he loves to mix it up with Ivy from the small blind. He's done it time and time again today.
Make the call. Comes king at 9-8, all spades, no spade for either player. Top set for Ivy, gutter for Badir. Ivy bets, Ivy wins. Queen 10 of clubs now for Saman 3.
All in.
Tens for Badir in the small blind, just rips it. Badir with almost half the chips in play.
Now we're talking, Jeff.
The deuces, your deuces.
Oh, this.
And Saman has ace-8 in the big.
Boy, this might be close for Saman.
Starting the hand with about 25 bigs.
Yeah, he's going to give it some thought. It's quite a few chips, 25 big blinds. Schindler knows that deuces just are not very effective post-flop.
You run into a lot of the ace-X that you have crushed
Right.
with the shove like that.
Pass.
Like to Schindler shove ace-9 there. He certainly doesn't, probably ace-10 or better. And then does he shove?
I don't know if he
eights
shoves
or
those
better?
hands.
No.
I think he might just try and get a little bit more value
Right,
rather than moving it all
exactly.
in pre.
So ace-8 looks like a pretty decent candidate as the shortest stack at the table.
Yeah, and this could be trouble now
Yeah.
for Ivy.
Saman 3 raises out of the small blind to 150K. Ivy will call in the big with ace-8. 655. Gutter for Saman 3, open ender for Ivy. No spade in either player's hand.
And an interesting sort of dynamic and situation. 500K in the middle. Neither player with a pair nor spade in their hand. Ivy called the flop, perhaps believing that maybe ace-8 is the best of it. Also a way in which we could essentially turn our hand into a bluff at times. Like right now, it's a decision for him, right? We've got an open-ended straight draw. We still might think ace-high is the best hand. If we do bet and we get called, what are we getting called by? Probably some sort of spade. Maybe a hand like king-queen with a spade. And we can simply get to showdown with ace-high. But Saman has obviously Ivy notched with ace-9, and I really just don't know what to expect out of Saman. He's only got 980,000 behind. Putting in 200,000 here with ace-9 and no spade. Very difficult. But I think he sort of feels like Ivy's bluffing him.
Does lay it down. Ivy gets it done.
That's just great stuff. That was a very strange sort of run-out hand for both players. Ivy took the aggressive route rather than checking back turn, which he probably could have done.
Plus.
He's 5 for Ivy in the small. Badir checks with the 7-3 and flops 7s and 3s. Ivy ace high on the gut shot. Overbet by Badir. Takes down the pot, extends his chip lead. So Hatem Badir looking for his first career tournament win.
He was oh so close in event number 2, Jeff.
Yeah, finished in second. Lost out to Johan Guibert. Pretty small raise in that spot, doesn't matter to Schindler with the 9-4, mucks it. $260K to fourth, $364,000 to third, $546K to second, and up top in this $832,000.
Race.
A7 for Saman on the button. 17 bigs. Badir with King Jack.
Hold in.
Gonna rip it. Place it down.
Okay. How many minutes break? 10?
We get a break now?
After this hand.
One more hand before break. You have big plans for break?
Not really, Jeff. I'm
Yeah.
probably going to maybe put some music on,
Oh,
get a little exercise.
yeah, I'm sure.
I might have a cup of coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Low caffeine. Badir says no thanks. Oh,
So-
wow.
Wow.
Schindler got the walk with the aces.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that'll send him
So
on
close.
tilt and off to break. A look at the leaderboard before we go on break. It is presented by GG Poker, and it is Salahaddin Badir with almost half the chips in play. Schindler in second, Ivy in third. Forehand to play resumes after this 10-minute break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Cyprus. Welcome back to event. Four players remain in the hunt for this title. $832,000 up top. Thanks for joining us. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks. There's a look at our Final Four. This leaderboard presented by GG Poker. Salahaddin Badir is our chip leader. Jake Schindler, Phil Ivey, Saman 3. Round out our Final Four. The blinds will go up 30K, 60K with a 60K big blind ante, and that's going to put a little heat, a little pressure on Saman 3.
Yeah, it's time to shake and bake for Saman 3. Let's see if Badir can continue to separate himself from the pack. Ivy now, I don't dare say short, but he's got a little work to do. What a start now for Badir, Jeff.
Looks down at the Ace-King of Hearts.
Brutal for Schindler. Sizes this thing up 500,000.
Ace-10 out on the small blind. Music to Badir's ears.
Yeah, I certainly think this is a Unfortunate 3-betting fold candidate for Schindler. Sort of wonder about the size, Jeff. If we are going to 3-bet fold some hands, even 4-handed,
All in?
do we have to go so big to 500? I don't know. Not going to question it because Schindler did it. And he is one of the best.
That much is certainly true.
You all right, bud?
So how do you, we can move the mic
Good
down
hand.
a little bit.
Really good hand. Doesn't matter, but good hand. This time doesn't matter. Good hand. Very good hand. The best hand.
No, I don't believe that.
How can I speak live with you if 20 minutes later you will see this, brother? Never.
That's a good point, but people still do tell those lies. Raise and take it for Badir. Now more than half the chips in play. Selahattin Badir out of Turkey. Finished in second place in event number 2, the 25K. In prime position here in the 50K.
Sorry.
Badir's best ever score, his best ever tournament finish was that second place result in the 25K. Losing heads up to Johan Guibert. Saman 3 now under 10 bigs.
All in?
And is in a great spot
Come
to
on.
just put a
Okay,
ton
don't
of
give
pressure
me.
on everybody.
He can essentially,
shove
Jeff,
them.
just
Yeah.
move all
Yeah.
in every hand pre-flop, right?
Ah, I'm small.
Ivy and Schindler are stuck with Saman 3 as the short stack and a 104K pay jump from 4th to 3rd. As we take a look at our PokerGo Tour leaderboard, it is presented by Guaranteed Rate. And it has Ali on Amshurovich on top of that leaderboard. Ali with more than 2,600 points, more than 3.3 million in PokerGo Tour earnings. 9 wins on the PokerGo Tour. Sean Perry has 5. Savarol, Winter, Kerry Katz rounding out the top 5. Schindler will move into at least 11th. He finishes in 2nd. He'll move into 10th. A win would move Schindler into 7th. Saman 3 with Queen Jack with less than 10 bigs.
Ooh.
And folds.
I'm pretty sure that's a shove,
Yeah.
unless, boy, the Spidey senses took over.
Right. It's Ivy off a 20 big blind stack.
I'm all in.
Just open shove. Schindler has to fold Brent's favorite hand, the Ducks. Ooh, nice little delivery.
A little bit of a power breakfast for
Yeah.
Ivy, huh? What are all those items?
Just an array of
Must be
dressings.
maybe some vinegar. Does he have a salad?
I believe
Oil,
so,
vinegar? Yeah. Typically,
Tip a hundo? for
yeah,
the-
I think he did. Yeah.
That's
And
beautiful.
Jeff, typically on
man.
PokerGo, this is free, of course, but normally it's about $10 a month.
Yeah.
I would pay $10 a month just to watch Ivy eat salads.
Is that right?
And you wonder why he
Your
avoids
turn,
your
Mr.
call.
Ah, sorry.
Ivy with the ace queen of clubs here.
I'm all in.
Just rips it.
Can I have count, please?
Uh-oh.
Badir has the ace-9 of spades.
You want to count?
Ask for a count.
Par.
It's on 3 with ace-6.
Respect, Mr. Ivy. Ace-9 suited.
Huh?
Ace-9 suited. I am.
Ivy not thrilled to hear that. Thinking, buddy, you just call
Good
me.
fold, huh?
Pay me the money.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Final four guaranteed $260,000. Third place 364K. Second 546. First 832,000. Ivy defense. That's just Brent getting excited for our breakfast order.
Oh, man, yes, I am. It's actually, I thought it was you just breathing very heavily.
No, it's
Starting to nod off a little bit.
no, I'm totally good. It's
a little
just
bit of narcolepsy.
Badir's mic, as you see right next to his nose and mouth.
Yeah, might as well just eat it. You really got to take your hat off to Badir. Sandwiched between Jake Schindler and Phil Ivey all day long, despite facing absolute adversity from hand number 1 off the deck. His ace-queen suited up against Ivey's ace-king. Ivey held, and Badir has been able to continue to accumulate and add on to that chip lead. Jeff, there is no way you could be seated between Phil Ivey and Jake Schindler
Without having a heart attack.
without having a heart attack and able to accumulate the chip lead. No
So
shot. I'd give you 10 opportunities to do so.
True.
5 hours a pop each time. You'd go 0 for 10.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And yet Badir's almost at $5 million in chips.
Just running away with it.
Ivy on the button with King 9. A little more than 20 bigs. Badir reduces.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good shove.
Oh,
Correct.
Schindler.
Schindler wakes up. Here we go.
Jake Schindler all in and at risk with ace-queen up against Selahattin Badir's deuces.
How you feel?
How do you feel?
Don't know.
How do you feel,
Feels
Mr.
good, huh?
Badir?
Yeah.
Flip a coin. 8 deuce 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Give it to us, Brent.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Ducks on the pond.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for Jake Schindler.
Good game.
Out in fourth for $260,000. That's a nice little 104K pay jump for Saman 3, who's pretty short. Nothing Schindler could do there.
Yeah, great ladder for Saman 3. And Badir eliminates one of the most feared poker players on the planet in Jake Schindler. And he's in position now of Phil Ivey with all the chips.
The absolute dream. As we look at the payouts presented by Luxon Pay, our final three guaranteed $364,000. Almost a 200K pay jump from third to second. And up top is $832,000, the biggest first place prize so far at Super High Roller Series Europe,
I'm first to act.
Ah,
which
sorry.
continues
Yeah,
today
I'm
with
on it.
event number 5. 50K short deck. One big blind for this hand.
Really?
Big blind is Saman 3 with 5 bigs behind and with the Queen 4 suited. Fires in a time bank. Does lay it down, does get shown the goods.
So in the YouTube chat,
Blank
Jeff,
until-
Yeah.
a little back and forth
Why
chatter
you
has come
for-
about with the
You are.
Poker Go Tour rankings. Here's why. They are, without question, the most elite and prestigious rankings out there.
Why is that?
You're talking about buy-ins of 10K at a minimum. You're talking about the most elite group of players on the planet. And I'll get back to that in just a minute as we're going to see Saman call it off.
On and at risk with the 9s. In pretty good shape against the 7-5.
Good luck.
Saman 3 looking to survive.
Badir's been running hot. Let's see if he can find a little equity.
Like all
Feels
day.
perfect. And how about
my
that?
Goodness.
Ace 7-7.
It's energy.
We saw
you know.
Ivy fold a 9.
I know everything is going. But doesn't matter, I will stay with this order, huh? It's not
Painful.
wrong, right? When you do right, I think everything is going good. I feel like this. you
And
know,
that does
I
it for
believe
Saman 3. Another nice showing by
in poker
him.
also. Yeah.
Out in third for $364,000. And Brent, just like that, we're
No,
heads up.
yeah, you are right.
Oh, sorry.
We're on the river,
Yeah.
Jeff.
We're on the turn. Now we're on the river. I just knew the river was going to be.
I wanted a 9 to hit so
Yeah,
bad
I
just for you to.
We'll probably have to re-record that
boy.
one in post.
Yeah. Not going to make the cut, but here we go. Heads up. Phil Ivey. Badir. Overwhelming chip lead.
Okay.
This clock has stopped, Jeff. Take a look at the payouts. Guaranteed now for one of these two, either Ivy or Badir. Guaranteed $546,000, and up top, champion, $832,000. Ivy has one victory in event number 1. Can he make it 2? Or will Badir finally get his first victory after a second place finish in event number 2? We've got a battle on our hands.
Stay with us. And now we are heads up for the title of event number 4 of Super High Roller Series Europe. Welcome back to Cyprus, back to the Marriott Royal Hotel and Casino. Jeff Platt alongside Brent Hanks. And Brent, here we are once again. Phil Ivey is heads up for a title, but he's got some work to do as we take a look at this leaderboard presented by GG Poker.
He certainly does, Jeff. Ivy up against No Fear Badir, as you've called him. And he's been running hot. He's been playing great. It just sort of feels like a date with destiny for Badir. And what a dream moment for him, playing the most iconic figure in poker ever, Phil Ivey, and you've got a better than 4-1 chip lead against this guy.
For what would be his first career tournament win.
Incredible.
Pretty great story. There's the trophy. It's on the table. But we know that Ivy will not go quietly into the night. We're at 30K, 60K on the 60K big blind ante. So Ivy with a little less than 20 bigs as we start heads up play. .644 gut shot for Badir. So Hadim Badir out of Turkey. Finished second just 2 days ago at the 25K.
I like this. Just a little small ball. Let's try and grind Ivy down. We're betting with some equity in our hand. He's got a gut shot to a straight. You would think that, you know, yes, Badir has a huge chip lead, but as far as experience and just overall skill set, Ivy would have the advantage, but he's handcuffed right now, Jeff. He's short.
Only big blind.
It's not really much he can do. He has to get fortunate, has to get lucky.
You owe me 60, no? Didn't I put
It's
up?
without ante? Sir, with ante. No ante. No ante. No ante. You
No ante heads up?
last hand you
I
pay.
thought I did. You
Maybe
give it back?
they check.
You give it back to me? Oh,
Next hand
okay.
maybe he give ante. And now we play without ante.
No, I think it's right. My chips are right.
Okay. It was we play with ante last one.
Yeah,
How-
he would know. He was heads up.
25K I play heads up with ante. With ante. Ah,
Okay, so we do have a big blind
okay.
ante.
With ante. You owe me 60K, right?
With ante.
Yeah.
Well, the one before I don't have 60 in, so. You know what I mean? Okay.
Badir.
Okay, sir.
Maybe I raise.
Okay.
Now we're set.
If you say so.
I don't know.
Well, Phil Ivy's been heads up for a tournament title 41 times. Badir's been heads up once. That was 2 days ago.
All in.
That's a good shot
Go
by
for it,
Badir.
yeah.
King 6, yeah.
Ivy 15
You
big.
just see it. He's going to lean on Ivy.
Yeah.
He knows what he has to do. We all know it. If Ivy doubles up, it's game on.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of feels like Badir just has to put him away right now. Don't let him double up. Obviously, there's nothing you can do once the cards are on their backs, but If you let Ivy back in a heads-up match, you're in for it. Ivy gonna throw it into the muck. I think with the ante in play, I know Ivy's short, but he can still call with that sort of hand. You're getting just great odds to put in the calling chips, and if he moves all in, he moves all in. You know, you just fold and see the next hand. But
Maybe I change this.
you should really be trying to see flops, given the price that you're getting heads up with the big blind ante in play.
That's what we saw throughout the U.S. Poker Open and the Poker Go Cup. Very few folds on the button.
Even if you're as short as, you know, 10, 12, 15 big blinds, the price is just right.
The deer with ace deuce, Ivy with king jack.
All in.
And here we go. Ivy the one all in and at risk. Badir, the slight favorite to acquire his first tournament crown.
Average.
$832,000 first place prize awaits. Will it go to Badir? Looks like it so far. Does flop a deuce. Ivy looking for a king or a jack. Backdoor cards to make a straight. Turn is an 8. No help to Ivy. 6 outs to stay alive. River card. It's the queen. And how about beating Phil Ivy heads up for your first tournament title? Selahattin Badir has his W. He wins event number 4 of Super High Roller Series Europe. He wins the trophy, and Brent, he wins $832,000.
It's just a special, special moment. What a dream for Badir. Taking down Phil Ivy. He's got a first place now to go along with his second place finish in event number 2. Jeff, I mean, this is what it's all about. This is the bucket list of poker, a dream come true for Badir.
Set off the fireworks for Selahattin Badir. He wins $832,000. Phil Ivy out in second. Another fantastic performance for him, adding to that first place finish in event number 1.